Boker Tov, we are continuing the Shir HaShirim, but this pasuk we already did. Hishbati etchem benot Yerushalayim mitzvot, o be'alot esleim ta'iru v'im te'oreru et ha'ahava ad shetekpatz. So this is pasuk, Perek Gimel pasuk Hey, and the exact same pasuk was said in Perek Bet pasuk Zayin. So let's explain it and explain what's going on over here. So the explanation, Hishbati etchem, Hashem is talking to the Goyim. Benot Yerushalayim, we said, the daughters of Yerushalayim is in reference actually to the Goyim, because Yerushalayim is going to be expanded after 120 years. Bezrat Hashem, sooner than that, when Mashiach comes, Mashiach comes, Yerushalayim is going to be expanded. Goyim are going to be living there as, I guess under the Yehudim, as Avadim, etc. And they're going to be the daughters of Yerushalayim, which Yerushalayim is in reference now to Bnei Israel. So Hashem says, I promise and I swear that you, other nations, bitzvaot, from the word tzvi, which is a deer, or be'alot hasadeh, or the ayal, the gazelle, kind of like a deer of the field. Im ta'iru v'im te'oreru. If you cause anger, or if you cause problems, if you want to try to uproot Bnei Israel, or you want to try causing problems to Bnei Israel, then in that situation, Hashem says, I promise, don't try doing that. Et ha'ava ad shetekpatz. The love until I want it to come. Meaning the Goyim are looking at us throughout and the generations, say, oh, where's your God already? Where's your Beit HaMikdash already? And they're treating us bad, so we're always saying, no, Mashiach's coming. Hashem says, let me show when my love is going to come. Don't you just stay on the side. Don't try causing problems. Don't try causing hate. And if so, then Hashem promises they're going to be taken care of. As we saw throughout our history, all the nations that tried rising up against us have been taken care of by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So why is this pasuk mentioned once again over here? So this pasuk is happening just like last time, right after a great expression of love between Hashem and Bnei Israel. Remember the story? So the lady, the Bnei Israel, she's trying to find her husband, and eventually the pasuk that we just read yesterday is she held on to her husband, she got him. Achazti v'lo arpenu, I'm not going to let him go, and I'm bringing him back home. And then Hashem says, now we're together. Hashem tells the other nations, I'm always together with them, and I'm going to show my full love when Mashiach comes. Until then, don't try causing problems with them. We are still connected. The Gaon of Vilna points out this point that we just said, that it comes after a strong love. So Hashem wants to show the other nations, you're not involved in this love. Now, Hishbati etchem is actually mentioned 3 times in Shir HaShirim. The first time we saw is in 2nd Perek. Here now is in the 3rd Perek, and also the 5th Perek. There it's a different pasuk, but same idea. Hishbati etchem benot Yerushalayim im timtzeu dodi mata gidu lo shecholat ahava ani. We'll get there, Bezrat Hashem. But there's a 3rd time Hashem Hishbati etchem benot Yerushalayim. Hashem swears, Goyim, don't touch us, don't bother Bnei Israel. So here the Sefer Tzror Hamor explains that the 3 times are connected to the main 3 exiles that Bnei Israel were in, which was Mitzrayim, which is Bavel, in between the 1st and 2nd Beit HaMikdash, and the Galut that we're in now, which is Galut Edom. And he says they're in totally foreign lands at this time. We're in Mitzrayim, we're in Bavel, and now we're in Edom. It's been 2,000 years almost. And therefore Hashem says, he takes it, don't touch them during all this time. And we saw, Spain touched us, and Spanish, there's still a country Spain, but the Spanish Empire fell apart, the Germans, etc., and the Babylonians, the Romans, the Greeks, Chanukah coming up, right? They're all in the dust. So this is the 3 times connected to the 3 main Galuyot. The Sefer Rokeach over here, it's a short one, we're going to be ending soon. Sefer Rokeach over here says that the tzvi, the word tzvi, so why is why the goyim compared to a tzvi and to gazelle? What's that going on in the pasuk? So we said that in the wild, the great, if you would watch those National Geographic of animals chasing animals for food, the gazelle is always the victim. The deer is always the victim. So he said, you guys are going to be like the meat of the field if you're going to touch the Jews. You're going to be eaten, you're going to be swallowed, you're going to be gone. So don't do it. That's why also the bracha of Morocco, all this time, I remember reading a sefer that came out, written right after the Spanish Inquisition, praising the Moroccan king at that time, accepting the Jews, etc. And we know every generation since. So the Sefer Okerach says that this also connects to Bnei Israel. Tzvi is Tzevaot Israel. So Tzeva is an army. Tzevaot Israel is the multitudes of Bnei Israel. We're always going to be here. We're not in multitude of such a big nation, but we're always going to be here. But Ayalot is a quick. They run very fast. The gazelle. So too, this connects to the tzaddikim that are always going to be running fast to do mitzvot. Even in difficult times, even in the exile in Canada, the United States, when we were in Europe, when we were in Spain and Morocco, there was always tzaddikim running to do mitzvot, even in the most difficult of times. So that's also a connection here to this pasuk. That though we're in the galut, the goyim, unfortunately, they've touched us, they've tried, but we're still here. And on the other token, the tzaddikim, though it's been so hard, they've also still been around. Torah has still been taught. Sfarim were always written in the worst of times, in poverty. It reminds me of a story. One of the rabbis in yeshiva would tell us that in Europe, certain times it was so poor. The rabbi had so many chidushim of Torah he wanted to write. He would write on the walls. He couldn't afford paper until eventually they rewrote it. Or in his book, he afforded paper, but it was so scarce that he would write everything in Rashi Tevot, like in abbreviations. Everything was in abbreviations. So let's say like Baruch Atah Hashem was Bet, Aleph, Hey. And he would put 2 lines on top. Everything was an acronym. And if you read the book, it was so difficult, and yet eventually he expanded it. But what we went through, and we still were able to write, we still were able to teach, and that's the tzvi and the ayah that we're still running to do mitzvot. And B'ezrat Hashem, we'll see that full love of HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mehera v'yameinu. Amen. Rabbi Yechanan Neman HaKasham HaNatzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu l'zakot et Yisafich HaChir B'adam Torah Maso Shneimar Adonai Hafetz Man Tzidko Yegdil Torah v'Yadir.